So let me do a quick little intro for you. So a long time ago, when I started the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs, I was doing heaps and heaps of selling, but only on Amazon. And after it was actually after my first conference, where I met the lovely Sue Josephson, who you're going to spend some time with tonight, she started telling me all about eBay, and I kind of poo-pooed this as an idea. I thought eBay was really just for selling old bits of junk and second-hand stuff and things like that. Well, turns out, as is normally the case, I was completely frigging wrong, and eBay's turned out to be an integral part of my own online businesses. And in fact, I always set up Amazon and eBay simultaneously now, simply because, just like whether or not you're going to be shopping in your own city or town, typically you'll have a Coles and a Woolies, and you tend to be either a Coles shopper or a Woolies shopper. And so Sue said to me, why aren't you selling on both, Neil? And it was such a great piece of advice, kind of a smack in the face, if you like, as far as making money goes. And it's made me a shitload of money. And now more than ever, it makes an inordinate amount of sense to be selling on as many different platforms as possible and really spreading out the risk and diversifying your online business. And so I've asked Sue to come online tonight and talk all about eBay and answer questions related to eBay. So, lovely Sue, how are you?
I am well, thank you.
And what I'm going to do, Sue, is I'm going to make you the presenter. And that will give you control of everything.
Give me control. Yay.
There you go.
Okay, when ready, show my screen. Okay, you should be able to see my screen.
We can now see your screen. Fantastic. How cool.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, thank you, everybody. And yes, I did win a very nice bottle of red wine off Neil after that conference. It was very satisfying to smack him around. But as Neil told you, my name's Sue. I've been selling on eBay now for just over 10 years. And it's awesome. I think just about everybody knows it pays for my BMW addiction, and that's pretty much all it does. You know, my husband has a very, very successful business, so this is my little hobby, and it supports me in that way that I'd like it to do. So you've all sent me lots of lovely questions. Thank you very much. So probably the one that I got most was, how much did it cost? How much does it cost to sell on eBay? So without further ado, that's my phone ringing, wonderful. So fees. So there's a number of fees. We have insertion fees, although you get 40 listings a month free. So, I mean, not many of you are going to have more than 40 listings. So for all intent and purposes, it costs nothing to list on eBay. There is, underneath your main title, you can choose to have a subtitle, and that costs $2.20. I don't use that. I think if you're selling something really high-end, maybe you might spend that $2.20 on those. Apparently, eBay's algorithm doesn't index the subtitle anyway, so I just don't see the point in spending the money. Then when you sell something, you have a final value fee, so same as Amazon's fees, and they're 10.9% of the total sale amount, and that includes postage, and it's up to a maximum of $440. So if you sold, I don't know, a $5,000 thing, it would only cost you $4.40. And then, of course, there's PayPal fees if you have PayPal, and that's 30 cents for the transaction plus 2.6%. And the more you sell, those PayPal fees can come down, but you have to apply for it. It's not automatic anymore. And I'm down to just on 2% now. So that's the fees. The other thing that I got asked a lot about was, do I need a store? So a store, do I need a eBay store? And in the words of Neil, it depends. There used to be a lot more reasons to have a store. So there was things like no insertion fees, cheaper final value fees, the ability to have a business account, and some access to all the marketing and promo tools. But they've pretty much all gone by the by now. So without a store subscription, as I said, you get 40 listings a month. So unless you've got more than 40 items, you're not going to be charged insertion fees anyway. The final value fee, just bring up this next slide. So the final value fee, and tier 2 is where most of us will be looking at. I can't remember exactly what all these are, but tier 2. So without a store, your final value fees are 10.9%. With a basic store, it's 8%. So while they're a little bit cheaper, you've got to keep in mind that it costs you $24.95 a month to have your basic store. And then with a basic store, you get up to 600 free listings. But as I said, 40 is more than enough for most of you. So I have made a bit of a spreadsheet up to show people where it balances out. So if you sold $1, and so this is how it would be. So you can see once you're earning, you've got to be earning more than about $850 a month for it to balance out the $4.50, the $24.95 in the store fee. So for most people, it's really not worth it until you start getting up into those big numbers. But it's up to yourself. All of eBay, everybody has a final value cap of $400 or $440 or $400. So really, you really don't need a store until you start getting up with those higher amounts. The access to marketing and promotional tools. You do need a store to have these marketing, and this is called the markdown manager, where you can list at a certain price and then mark it down and have the other price showing. Keeping in mind, though, that eBay works with Australian law, and you cannot make the listing look like this until you've sold at that higher price. They just don't allow you to do it, because if you've never sold this particular item at $44.99, you can't discount it down to that. So you can promote it and list it at a lower price, but you won't get it to see like this until you've actually sold something at that price. One way to do that is just get your family or friends to buy it at the higher price, and that's not a problem. Then you can do that. But yeah, you do need a store for that. You don't need a store anymore for promoted listings, and I'll run through promoted listings a little bit later on. My next slide. Next thing, people had asked me if they'd heard that PayPal holds your money. They do, to an extent. Yes, they do. And you've got to think about, and eBay will hold your listings as well. I think one of the girls in the group this week was saying that she wasn't allowed to list more than a certain amount. As a brand new seller, they do. They like to keep everything low just until you prove yourself as a seller, and it's just all about protecting the buyers. So yes, PayPal do the same. They will hold you as a new seller. They'll hold your money generally for 21 days. And what you're seeing on the screen now, if you've been selling on eBay less than 90 days, if you're a new seller, if you've got detailed seller ratings, which I'm not going to have time to go in today, if you've got a high rate of disputes, or if you've been a PayPal member for less than 6 months. Once the customer has paid for the item, and if you've uploaded tracking, which you should always do, and it's shown as delivered, usually you'll get your money then. You'll release your money. They'll release the money as soon as the customer leaves feedback, positive feedback. But generally speaking, they will hold it. Once you get into once you've proven yourself as a good seller, you can take your money out all day, every day, which is what I do. We strip our PayPal account definitely on a Monday, because it just goes nuts on a Monday. So Monday afternoon, I always strip it. And then we normally do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, unless it's been a really busy day. And that's just because I would rather the money be in my account than in the PayPal account. But honestly, I've been selling for over 10 years now, and I've never had a PayPal issue. So I know Neil doesn't like PayPal, so obviously there's been an issue, but I've never had any problems, really haven't.
Less said about my PayPal issue, whereby PayPal destroyed a £50,000 a month business, the better.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I just had Square do something similar with mine, because I did a large transaction and it was larger than normal, so they shut the whole account down. So I had like $12,000 sitting there for a couple of days until we could prove that we weren't actually drug traffickers. That's what you get when you have higher than normal. Yeah, I needed to accept a credit card for Michael's business because he doesn't normally take it, and screwed us up no end, so not good. Right, next question. I got lots and lots of people asking about SEO and how to rank. Okay, getting down and deep now. So eBay has an algorithm pretty damn similar to the A9 Amazon algorithm, and it's called Cassini. So Cassini is the little robot that runs around, looks for correct keywords, and it looks for pretty much exactly the same things as Amazon does. Is your product relevant to the keywords that the buyer has typed into the search bar? It also looks for engagement. So if someone has got an impression in the search page and has clicked through with it, that's engagement. If they've bought your product or put it onto a watch list, that's engagement. I had another question. I'll go about watch lists. Had another question asked me, what were watches and are they good or are people stalking you? Watches come from the old days of things being on auction, and I'm sure people have bought eBay auctions before and used to put it on your watch list, and then when it came towards the when it was the auction was nearly finished, you would get a notification to say, don't forget to come and bid on it. So watches aren't, I'm sure some of them might be competitors. I know I've got a couple of my competitors on my watch list, but usually it's just people watching things. They might see something and think, oh, that's interesting, and put it there so they can remember to come back to it later. So it's an easy way to bookmark stuff on eBay. But from a Cassini point of view, it's really good because it means, or what the search engine thinks is, oh, that person really likes that and it's relevant to them and they want to hang on to it, even though they haven't necessarily bought it yet. So lots of watches is pretty good. eBay have not long ago released a thing where, as a seller, if you can send offers to your watches. Bit of a mixed reaction in my group. Some people have had really good success with it. Others, me included, aren't using it because I sort of figure my price is my price. You're either going to pay it or you're not. But in saying that, I don't have a lot of competition. But to me, I think if I go into Kmart and pick up a toaster and go back, come back the next day and pick up a toaster and keep watching that toaster, they're not going to give me a discount on it just because I'm watching it. I'm just going to eventually buy it. So, see, I don't do that. So engagement and relativity. So great keywords with relevant keywords and an informative description, and just the same, follow along with module 5 in AOE, and Neil teaches you how to look for keywords. And I mean, if you're looking in Australia, the keywords are going to be pretty similar, to eBay and Amazon. They also want great customer service, so making sure that you send things out really quickly, that you offer a 30-day return, that you offer free returns. Don't be put off by offering free returns. You actually don't have to pay for them. And in the back end of the eBay Mastery program, there's a resource there that shows you how to get PayPal to pay for your returns. So you don't have to pay for it, so it's not a big deal. But they think they're getting free returns and it's all good. If you get any questions, you've got to answer them quickly, which is good. And pricing. So just like on Amazon, believe it or not, it's not always cheapest price wins. Ignore the Chinese sellers. They're not your competition. That's like saying that the reject shop is Myers' competition. They're really not. If you're looking at that low-end type product, it's probably the wrong type of product anyway. So, yeah, it's not always a race to the bottom. eBay recommends that you price competitively, as Amazon does, and it's because, exactly the same, their fees are a percentage of their sold price. So they don't want everybody selling for $1 because they don't make any money. But on the other hand, they don't want, a $100 iPhone charger because they're just not going to sell any and they won't make anything. And then so keywords, there's 3 areas where your keywords are shown. They're shown in your title, your description, and item specifics. And when we get into eBay in a minute, I'll go through those. So titles, again, should be readable, exactly the same as how Neil teaches, but we've only got 80 characters. Now, given that Amazon now with mobile truncates at 80 or 85 characters anyway, it's a good thing to get used to writing eBay titles. So get them all in there. The one difference is we don't have to worry about brand names. So your brand name doesn't need to be upfront with eBay. So you can sort of use those characters and not use them as much. But yeah, following along with Neil's guidelines just works really well. Now in the descriptions, because we don't have bullet points as such on eBay, but in the description panel, since I've been a part of AOE and listened to Neil, because I'd never even bought off Amazon before, I had a Kindle account, that was all. I restructured all my listings to show 5 bullet points and then a description panel down below. And it made a massive difference. It really did. So people are going to glance through it. They're going to look at it in the same way as Amazon, see those 5 bullet points, and then you can expand on it as a full description and get all those lovely keywords in there. And so basically, and as I say in the course, just copy and paste from Amazon to eBay, shuffle them around a little bit so it's not identical copy. So, you know, you might switch bullet point 3 to bullet point 1 and shuffle them around a bit, switch a few words around just so that it's not exactly the same. Item specifics, and as I said, I'll go through this a bit later. When you list a T-shirt, it'll ask you what's specific about that. So it might be a cotton T-shirt. So if somebody puts in cotton T-shirt, yours has got more likely to show up than, or if somebody put in wool T-shirt or woolen jumper, it's not going to show up because yours is cotton. So it's really quite important to fill in those item specifics as much as you can and get your things there. Sales history. Now, we're seeing this more and more with Amazon as well. The more you sell, the more you sell. Because if you've sold something, that immediately tells the algorithm, wow, this thing's really good. Buyers like this. Let's show more buyers. And so that you'll always get a boost after you've had some sales. And that's why we do, you know, launch strategies are really, really cheap just to get those sales going because it boosts it up in the ranking. If you've got a track record of selling lots, that's really good. They'll keep bumping you up. But if you've got a track record of not selling very many, having lots of watches and only a few, long-term sales history with not many sales could drag you down. So in that sense, like I'm talking, you know, if you only sell one product a month or something like that and leaving that as, we call it good till close, so just keeping them constantly running, that can sometimes be a bad thing. So sometimes if you've got really slow sales, it can be a good idea to try boosting it up, changing keywords around, and if nothing happens, close the listing and start again. Cassini cares more about your recent performance than your ancient history, though. So, you know, you've just got to keep tweaking. If something's not working, just try shuffling things around. Pretty much as a standard in my business, my admin lady knows that, you know, I mean, we've got 81 listings all up. So whenever she goes in there, she'll just sort of shuffle things around. She might shuffle the photos around a bit, swap around a few words, change the title around a little bit, because all of a sudden, when the robot comes back, when the bots come back to crawl it again, it'll go, oh, this is different, this is new, and it'll crawl it and it'll sort of re-index it. And often we'll see a bump up in the SERPs page just by shuffling things around. Neil, have you ever tried doing that with Amazon? Does that same type of thing work?
No, it doesn't. Not with Amazon. Okay. Amazon actually, the things that you get rewarded for Amazon are things you've already mentioned. Actually, sales history is a big one that you get rewarded for. And as Amazon thinks you're going to make sales, it will enable you to make more sales, just like
yeah. But I know we definitely find if we shuffle things around and the bot recrawls the listing, we'll often get it'll come up. You know, on page 1 if it's dropped off, or it'll come up higher. So yeah, just slight differences in the algorithm.
I love those sort of like little insights that you're able to bring on the differences between Amazon and eBay. It's things like that most folks who are skilled with Amazon just don't realize that you can do. It's almost like little black hat things you can do on eBay, which I really love, Sue.
Yeah, but yeah, generally it's pretty similar. Now, the next thing, people ask me lots and lots about how to get the bestsellers. So this is where I'm going to attempt to go live and see if we can get into eBay. All right. Oh, first screen. Sorry, I meant to do this before. Amazon versus eBay. It's not a competition. So I think many of you have seen this before, similar web, and it just shows the traffic overview between eBay and Amazon. Look, we all took a hit in February. eBay in February had 58.19 million views. Amazon had 20.84 million views. In a month, that astounds me in a country of 25 million people, the page views that we get. So you can see the blue line's eBay, the orange line's Amazon, and we're still sitting with this gap. It's not catching up yet. We've got a way to go. I really expected this jump in December to be much, much higher, and it's just sort of leveled out. I know when I was looking back through the first version of the eBay Mastery course that we wrote, eBay was 9 times bigger, so it's catching up. We're down, we're 3 times larger, but it's been at 3 and 4 multiples for quite a while now. So Amazon's still got a bit of work to do. So eBay is still, get on there. That's an awful lot of views, 58.19 million views. It's just incredible. So how to find bestsellers. As most people know, because I know there's a couple of new people on, in Amazon, Neil does what he calls the gobbledygook search, so a minus and then whatever. That doesn't work on eBay. So what I like to do is what's called an A search. So I search for A, and what it's doing is it's looking for A in a description. And you will always get a failure when you do this. So you do a search and it will tell you that there's way too many. So what you do is narrow it down to category. So you might be in home and garden, do search. And now you can start seeing some things now. Down this left-hand side, we can, we want new listings. We want, down here, we want 18 to 70, so same sort of methods that Neil shows. Got to click here. And now you'll start seeing everything that's in that type of thing. Now, I have a plugin, and I'll give you the link for this. I'm going to put all the links. I have a plugin called eBay Popularity Sort. So what it does, rather than sorting by best match or all the other things, time listing soonest, these ones really are for auctions, price and shipping, price and distance nearest first. So doing this by popularity sort will sort this. If I refresh this, you'll see it will say, right, these search results have been modified by eBay Popularity Sort. So now what it's showing us is every item that has an A in it, in home and garden. Am I in .com? I am. Oh, bugger. Let's try that again. Because we want AU. Thought that was strange. It should do it for me again anyway. Hey, the joys of live presentations, hey? Go home and garden. Search. Popularity sort. Okay, I won't narrow this down to the 18 because I won't go through that. So now we're in Australia. Thank you. We've got our, we've searched by A, and we've got these results have been modified by popularity sort. So now what it's showing us is what products have sold the most. Simple as that. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. So, and you can narrow these down, niche it down into whatever niche you like. As I said, go down, you can choose things. So for those of you that haven't seen the little red numbers, these little red numbers are gold. They're red, but they're gold. So when you click through to the listing, those red numbers now become live. So you can now click on that, and unlike Amazon, no guessing. You can see exactly what sold, how many, for how much. So these guys are just nuts. They sell these stud finders, and they always come up as number one. They sold one today, one yesterday, 3 the day before, one there, blah, blah, blah. And so there is no guessing. This is not like Merchant Words or Jungle Scout where everything's a guesstimate. This is 100% fact sales. So that's how you find out what sells best on eBay. You just search their listings. Now, do I need to take some questions on that?
Let me have a look for you. Let's see.
Yeah, because I know that I always get questions on the A search.
Any questions around searching and around finding things? It's actually pretty bloody easy to find great products to sell on eBay, isn't it?
Really easy. Yeah, and that eBay popularity sort plugin, it's a free plugin, and as I said, I'll give everybody the link to it later because I'll put in a few links, and it's just awesome. It's really good. I mean, you can just I'll go into kitchen, dining, and bar here, and again, you can see, look, this digital clock timer. Okay, that's too cheap because we haven't done it, but this AccuSharp knife sharpener. 1,845 sold. So again, we just go in and have a look at it. I think AccuSharp might be a brand name though.
That's bloody brilliant.
I mean I'm sure you can private label.
And Sue, what do you reckon? The products that are selling here on eBay are going to be also big sellers on Amazon as well? Do you reckon the two compare?
Yes. Yeah, because I mean I'm saying that it's probably harder to drive traffic to Amazon, and only because people aren't used to buying it yet. But I mean, you know, you lay out all the traffic and how to get it there. But it's just a really, really good idea as well to use eBay as a validation for your product. Like when you're doing your product research, plug it into eBay and see if it's actually selling. You know, yeah, unfortunately, I see quite a few people who have products that they think are awesome and they match all the criteria, but when they go and have a look at it on eBay, it's selling at 4 times the price. So just validate that you can actually get your sales on eBay as well.
All right, cool. Thank you for that.
Discounting the Chinese. So that was eBay, and then okay, so that was the A search, and I think I pretty well covered SEO. Now, people have asked me how to actually do some listing because I had some questions around variations and lots about HTML and images, etc. So let me get into that. So to sell, it's really, really simple. It's a good idea to have to turn your personal account into a professional account, because you can make your username your business name. All your invoices and everything will come as my little fake business here is Useful Imports, which is a real shame because I so much like this name. It's so much better than my real trading name. And you can link it, have a professional PayPal account as well, a business PayPal account, and everything will all line up in the one name. And it means that rather than your PayPal saying, thank you for buying from Sue Josephson, it says, thank you for buying from Useful Imports. And by having a business account, you can have your logo on eBay invoices. If you're registered for GST, you can put in your GST so you don't pay GST on your fees. Same as with Amazon, you do that as well. Your fees will be GST free, but you do need a business account for all that to happen. So, and that's really simple. If people have got a personal account, you just hover over where it says G'day, whatever your name is, go to account settings, and one day I'll actually have some internet. And then you just put in your business info, and it will say, if you've got an individual account, when you get through here, it'll say account type, it'll say individual here, and there'll be an edit button over the side here. You just click it and flick it into a business account, and that's pretty much all there is. They will get you to send in a little bit of information, especially if you've got GST, they want all that sort of stuff, but there's not a lot to it. It's heaps easier than setting up Amazon, way easier. PayPal want more information because they're a bank. They've got to look after ACCC and banking laws, so they need a lot more verification. But eBay, super, super simple. Now, to sell on eBay, we've got a tab up here that says sell. So we click sell. And it asks us to make a new listing, create listing over here. So a single listing. And I am going to sell eventually. Now, you can either enter your UPC, part number or product number. Now, this is more like on Amazon if you're selling somebody else's product. You put in the UPC code, and it may already be in the eBay catalog, so it might fill it in. You don't have to have your whole title here, but if you've got it, you can. So we're going to sell a bike pump. So we're going to put in our little bike pump here. Start with this title. So it's going to give you some ideas. Bicycle accessories, pumps, that's good. Let's put it in there. That's where it should go. Same as on Amazon, make sure you're in the right category. If you put your bike pump under pet supplies, Cassini's just going to go, what the? And not show it to anybody. So make sure you're in the right place. So we're going to go under bike pumps. Creating a draft. I'm going to do this really, really quickly. So this is where I've got 6 characters left. This is where you could put in. This is where you could put in your subtitle. So you've got 55 characters for $2.20, and I've been told that it doesn't get indexed, so I don't bother. Custom label is more for your own back end. So if you've got 16 different types of bike pump, you might give them all a different SKU. I use SKUs because we've got Amazon, eBay, and our own website, so the SKUs are the same across everything. Category is correct. You can add a second category as well. I didn't look up the fees for that, sorry, I haven't got it. And then variations, and variations are super simple. So you just click create variations, and it'll open up, and you can just put in whatever you want to do. So it might be model, might be a black one, and then add, and the next one might be a red one, and that's it. That's variations. So super, super simple. You can have different set of photos for each variation as well, so same as Amazon. We get 12 photos, which is great. Pretty much exactly the same as Amazon. So we all know by now that the main image should be a hero image. So I've created a gorgeous hero image here. Are you all ready for it? Hey, super deal. Anyway, not that one. I've done it. I've wrecked it. Now I've wrecked it. Super Neil killed the internet.
That's hilarious. You've got to send me that. I'm going to send it to my wife. She'll absolutely love that.
Yeah, Super Neil. I'll bring Super Neil up in a second. There we go. There's Super Neil. So he's my hero image, see? So we can add photos, and a couple of people asked me about naming convention. So same as with Amazon, you put in your ASIN number. Use what it is. Use your title. Use keywords. So I've just got mini bike pump, and you can see it's a hero image. Sorry, it's going to take too long. I don't have NBN yet. Sorry, we have pathetic internet. The factory does, but I don't have it here at home yet. So there's their hero image, exactly the same sizes, same everything else, and just add in your photos exactly the same. And then once you've got the photos in, I'm not going to do too many, and just put them in any order you like, and this is where I was saying you can shuffle things around. So once you've got photos, you can just change them around to wherever you want them. So it's not going to let me main image. Okay, it's not liking me today. Anyway, they just drag and drop and just shuffle them around. If you've got some images on your own website somewhere, you can import them from the web. Either way, everything. I'll get into images a little bit later on, but wherever you host them has to be a secure website. So it's got to have the HTTPS on it. Otherwise, eBay will just say it's not correct content and doesn't like it. So add all your photos. There's a whole heap of required stuff. You've got a brand here. You can either use your own brand or just have it unbranded. Manufacturer part number, you don't need it. Just say does not apply. Does not apply. Comes in. Additional types. Now these are your item specifics. So this is where I was saying. So it's a bike pump, mini bike pump, and it gives you the searches. It gives you the keyword searches. So it's saying mini bike pump. There's 2,700 searches in the last month on eBay. Valve type. What type of valve type pump type is it? There was this many. So I think Presta was the valve type, Presta valve, and you can add your own. There's heaps. So whack your keywords in there, as many as as many as you can fit in. You can just go nuts with them. So maximum pressure, I think it was 80 psi. There, colour, black. I have no idea what that is because don't really have any idea what a bike pump is. I don't know why that's not adding. Should add thing here. Oh, features, okay. So features might be your other types of whatever, feature 1, feature 2. So you can just keep adding a whole heap of different things in here for features, and you can, they should be keywords, obviously. Warranty, if something's got a warranty, you don't have to have all these, obviously, but the more you can fill in, the better. It's modified. Custom item specific, so if you've got another keyword that they really think you might use it. So these are kind of like your back-end keywords in Amazon, so stuff them all in there. Get as much as you can in there because, Cassini, it will look at item specifics first. Then we come down to our item description. Now, you can either just type, if we put advanced editing and we get the little thing here, you can either just type into here, do whatever you like, or we can do HTML. So I'll show you if I go, because I did. So I've got my bullet points here. Back here says my bullet points, like that. So just exactly the same, and you can bold these, bold them like this. You can change the fonts. Leave it as Arial. Arial seems to work best. I'm not going to go into templates. I don't have time to do that today. So, and then your description panel, exactly the same. So that'd be your description. So yeah, so, we know, same as in Amazon, people aren't going to actually read your whole description. So make it readable, but stuff your keywords in there. Get as many in as you can. So they're more likely to read your bullet points, and then they'll have a look at your, they might read your description. So good place for your keywords to be. Now you'll see standard and HTML. If I click this into the HTML, you've got all the code. Now, don't let that frighten you. I'm going to select all of that. Oh, no, just all of that. So we can use simple HTML tools called HTML Tidy, and it's a WYSIWYG thing. It's just so simple. So when you first open it up, it'll show you like this. All you need to do is delete all that, and it'll clear all that out. Type in whatever you want to do, and you'll see this is all the HTML code over here, and it's really clean code. So this is where you can use any of your HTML stuff that you like. So these ones, I might move these over. So my description's still over here, and this is what I do. I make these look more like an Amazon listing. So flick those over to there, and it'll sort of stand out. Might be able to list it. Can I make them into a list? Yeah, not terribly well. No, didn't really like that. I'll unlist that. Move them over again. So make it look more like an Amazon listing. And then we can add some photos in here as well. Now this is where you add your photos with your alt tags. And this is where you're going to need, because the same as Amazon, when these photos that we've got on our listing up here, when they go into the thing, it'll strip all the keywords out of them and all that sort of stuff, so they don't get alt tags put onto them. But in here, we can do that. So we can, I'm going to put these photos up the top just to make it show out a little bit better. Now, I like to do them in a table. So make a table. Let's just do 4. And it's so easy, this little program. It's just what you see is what you get. So you don't even have to worry about this code because it's just writing it all for you. So we'll center this table. Select it all. Oh, it's gone. I won't send to the table. So we can add pictures here. So insert the image, and you can do it from, and this is where I said you need to have your images somewhere where you can where you can host them with right names. So you see I've just stuck them up on the GoMibi, and you can see it's called Bike Pump 1, Bike Pump 2. But again, name them with varying keywords, more so with keywords here. So that, so the source will be there. Image description, now this is your alt text. So this is awesome keyword alt text. It doesn't really matter. The object of the exercise here is not about the images, it's about the keywords and the alt text. And what this alt text does is it gets crawled by Google, and this is how you'll get your eBay listings to show up on Google Shopping as well. So these don't need to be big images. I just keep them really little, keep them around 150, because it's actually not about the images here. It's about the thing. So there's one, we'll get the next one, and this is just pulled it in from the back end of the website. I just copied these. Two will do enough for today. HTML tidy. Again, we're going to add an image, source, another alt text, keep them little. Okay. Now, if we have a look at the image here, so there's the HTML of this second image. So we can see the source is HTTPS, GoMibi, call it with a good keyword, and the alt is we put in another, another alt text in there. So that's that. So then all you've got to do is save all your HTML from here and delete it out of there, go back into here and just paste it all in, and then when you go back to standard, magic, it just shows it. So that's how you get HTML in thing, and HTML tidy just makes it so easy. You should be able to, no, it's not going to do it, but yeah, I should have had that in center. So it hasn't pushed that over a little bit farther. So once you think everything's right, do use the mobile friendly checker, and it will go through and check that everything looks good on mobile and that you don't have any active content or non-compliant links. It's saying it exceeds the screen width, fix it for me, and it'll just do it. So it's really good. It makes it really simple to do good listings and stuff that is really compliant. No active content, ready to go. No non-compliant links, ready to go. So now your listing is pretty well done. We can have video to a point here. So what we do is, I forgot to do it, I'll just create an image in Canva or something like that and put a little video thing on it, and then underneath here it'll put the little the red play button on the image, so it looks like if you click on it it's going to go to an image. When they click on it, you right underneath it will open in YouTube. Again, you just embed the YouTube code, and it'll eBay doesn't mind you going off eBay to YouTube. It's not a problem at all. So having video within your listing is not too bad. So it's really good. I'm scrolling down. So fixed price is what we want to do. Start my listings when I submit them. Put in your price, whatever you want. Best offer, and this is what I was saying with offers. I don't use offers. My price is my price. Quantity, somebody asked me about quantity. Should you put in as many as you've got or have the scarcity? Look, I couldn't be bothered going into my listings all the time to make sure I'm not running out of them. So I list everything as 1,000 because sometimes I've got 1,000, sometimes I don't, but I know I'm never going to run out of stock. And once every couple of months, we just go back in and reset everything to 1,000. So it'll show that you've got plenty in stock. Sellers a lot is if you've got, what does it say about lot? So a case of batteries, free collection and things like that. So for most of us, it's just going to be, we won't have this. Allow buyers to remain anonymous. That's to do with those red sale links that I've got. I'll go in and show you again. And it means that the buyer's name doesn't get shown in the back end, so you don't know who's been buying stuff. Payment option is PayPal. You have to at least have PayPal. I don't require immediate payment. I used to, and just test it with yourself. If you've got only one item or maybe two items that you're listing, then yeah, require immediate payment. I have lots of stuff that need to be bought individually. So they might need to buy this particular part and then they need to buy another part, but it doesn't necessarily need to be in a bundle. And if you do an immediate payment, they can't put everything into their cart and pay it in one lot. It's got to go through in separate transactions. So yeah, I don't require immediate payment anymore. Merchant credit card options are only if you have your own merchant account with a bank. So generally you wouldn't have that. Credit card goes through PayPal. Money order or bank check, I don't take personal check, and we take bank deposit. I don't mind doing direct deposit. It's really rare. We may see, I don't know, a handful in a year, but give people ways to buy things, it's fine. We don't do COD, we don't do pay on pickup. Escrow is an American thing. COD, be really wary with. eBay actually doesn't like you doing cash on delivery. They want everything within their system. If somebody sends you a message and says, hey, I've just bought this thing, can I pay you when I pick it up? Usually say no, because if eBay sees that, they say, oh, they're taking that off the platform, and they will charge you final value fees regardless. So I just always explain to people, yeah, sure, you can come and pick it up, no problems at all, but it needs to be paid through the eBay system first. And then when they come and pick it up, I always make them sign. I give them have two invoices, and I make them sign an invoice so that I can prove that they've collected it, that they've got a signature on delivery. So that's just little hints. I haven't been stung with somebody saying that they picked it up from me and they didn't receive the item, but I have been stung twice in the early days where I've said to someone, yeah, you can pay for it when you pick it up, and they haven't turned up, they've got busy or whatever, and eBay have taken the final value fee off me. So we don't like that, bastards. You always have to have returns. Well, you don't have to, but you won't get top-rated seller if you don't. So always do domestic returns. International, I don't think you have to have international returns. I don't sell internationally, so I'm not sure. I'll go through international a bit later. Postage. Now, I got loads and loads of questions about postage. Not a lot we can do about it. Australia Post is expensive. I have had a look at my eParcel account and what Amazon would charge if I had my items FBA, and I can see pretty much, if anybody knows anything about freight, you pay a base rate and then you pay per gram or per 100 grams or whatever. Basically, Amazon aren't paying the base rate. So with Australia Post, everything is going to be roughly $5 to $6 more expensive than FBA will charge you. It's just a cost of doing business. If you choose to have it as a higher price on eBay and cheaper on Amazon, that's up to you. I don't. I have the same price across all. I just know that eBay, if I was FBA, eBay would cost me a little bit more than Amazon. That's just totally up to you to decide what you want to do. But the fact of the matter is, Australia Post is expensive. There's no such thing as free post. People like to think that there's free post, but it's just got to be factored into the cost of business. It's just all it is. So you need to do postage. Free post is good, so factor that in. You now do need to have an express delivery of no more than $15. I used to say $1,000 because I actually can't do express post here from the Sunshine Coast. I'm outside that express post area. So if people buy from me from express post, I was I was getting a lot of, not negative feedbacks, but I was getting late deliveries because Australia Post physically can't do that. So the $15 rule on Express is only just coming through now, and I haven't found out yet how I can not have that because I physically cannot offer an Express Post service. But for anybody that lives in Metro, it has to be what they say in inverted commas, a reasonable amount, but no more than $15 on the difference between Standard Post and Express Post, and eBay will refund $4 of that. So, you know, I think on a 500 gram bag, the difference is less than $4. I think on a 3 kilo bag, I think it's around the $4 mark. So you're supposed to have express delivery now as well. Local pickup, you can do that, but as I said, just be careful with it. Make sure they pay through the system. Handling time. 1 business day. I cannot, you know, I mean, same business day is a little bit too hard. I do 1 business day. And our rule is if it gets bought and paid for by midday our time, it goes out that day. If it's after midday, you know, if it's 12:30, it'll go out that day. Our couriers pick up about 2 o'clock. But if it's in the afternoon, it goes out the next day. Non-negotiable. That's it. And that will give you really, really good ratings with delivery times. And if you look through my feedback, so often we get fast shipping because it goes out immediately, and that's vital, you know. And especially as Amazon gets bigger with Prime and with 2-day shipping, it's just vital that you get out there. I don't do international post. I trialled New Zealand for a while, but it was just too expensive. You can add all this in if you want to. It's not necessary. I don't have time to go into excluding post locations, but you can exclude where you don't want to go. So with all mine, I don't send to far rural Western Australia and that sort of thing. I don't send to all of Northern Territory with the exception of Darwin. So just stuff that's a long way away. Australia Post just can't get it quick enough, and eBay just can't get it through their heads that we're a big company, a big country. Item location is exactly where you are, so keep that there. And promoted listings. I'll go back into promoted listings a little bit later. No, I'll do it now. So promoted listings. Yes, it is anyway.
Hey,
so
Sue,
I'm just going
to bring your attention to the time, just so that
I know. I just saw that. Yes, I'm running late.
Yes,
we are on a bit of a thing. I'm going to run out of time. I won't do promoted listings. Promoted listings are pretty similar to PPC. You set your ad rate. It gives you a trending rate, the same. Trending rate 6.5. You can go up or lower. When you're launching, you could set that really, really high to try and get bumped up. I leave most of mine on the trending rate. You don't pay for promoted listings until somebody actually buys. They can click on it all day long and you won't pay for anything. So you may as well use them. Volume pricing, offering a discount if somebody buys more, super simple to do. Buy 2, 3, 4, whatever. You can preview it and you can list it, and that's it. And you can see, there's 0 there because I haven't done more than 40 listings in the day. So that. Looks like there's a problem. Oh, okay, all right, ignore it. I'm not going to go back there. It's saying buy it now price because I haven't filled everything in. Okay, all right, that's about all I've got time to do with that. Other people asked me about marketing. I predominantly just use Facebook. I'm not going to name names because I know the gentleman's on the call tonight. I had a lovely coaching call with a gentleman today who has nailed it on Facebook. Now, this man sells in a particular niche, and he has made a Facebook group that he owns, and he has over 10,500 people in his group that all love what his product is potentially going to be. And he asked me today, did he think his product was going to do well? What does everybody think 10,500 raving fans are going to do to his 300 units when he puts them into Amazon? he's going to sell out. It's just going to go nuts. So Facebook is awesome. I was on a marketing webinar just recently, and the quote was, build the well before you need the water. And that's exactly what he's done. He's built this massive big hole with raving fans, and now he can just draw the water out of it all day, every day. So Facebook is awesome like that, and you don't even need to do ads. If you can start making a group, getting traffic, getting a page, start getting some engagement, and do it long before you even, once you know what your niche is, start creating a page around that niche. You know, once upon a time, it used to all be about blogs. Now it's about, you know, blogging and Facebook groups and things. But if you can start getting like-minded people that like your niche, and don't sell to them, just create an audience. And then, like I was telling this person today, once he's got that group, then he can put Facebook ads to people who are friends of the people that are in his group, and it's just going to go nuts. So Facebook is just amazing. So yeah, definitely start Facebook. Schedule out posts. This was me scheduling out, I don't know, what was that, 5 months worth of posting. You can schedule all your Facebook posts, and I can generally schedule out 2 months worth of posting in an afternoon, as long as I'm not too ridiculously busy. But it's really not that difficult to do. So I can help you with that. It's really easy. Michael English is going to be really, really disappointed because we didn't get to 3D sellers tonight, and there's lots there, so I'm not going to have time to get into it. Michael and I once did a coaching session for nearly an hour and a half when they set some new stuff up, and we barely even scratched the surface. So it's a bit sad that we don't have time to get into there. But it's the equivalent of Kibli, but we have the power of sending a different email to every single product if you want to. You could have a rule that if the red bike pump sells, you send them this email. If the bike pump sells, it sends them a different email. You can do A/B split testing. It's just amazing. And it is pretty cheap. It's priced at, so this is it, does all the things. Its pricing is, I've lost it, I think it starts about $11.99. $11.99 a month. It works on the volume, so it's integrated with eBay. In your proper, it'll show you all your emails that have been sent out. So they know what your volume is, and they just charge you accordingly, and it goes up in brackets. Once you get up to over 100,000, it's over 50,000 a month, something like that. It tops out, and you get custom pricing, and they're really, they're just brilliant. So yeah, definitely look at 3D sellers. Now, the last bit there, I think most people know that I've got my eBay Mastery course on Neil's platform as well. And I've had a lot of people asking me about how what we can do with marketing and getting a listing optimized and doing all that sort of thing. So I've created a boot camp. So it's 5 days. If you want to do it in 5 days in a row, you can. It's live with me. We'll work through your customer avatar. So that's the number one thing. Who is your ideal person? Because once you know who you're selling to, then it opens the world up for niches. So, you know, if you're selling to Steve-O, the four-wheel drive enthusiast, you know you've got a whole heap of different products that can send him. So nailing your customer avatar, looking at your listing, working out why keywords are king, getting your Facebook and your landing page, using free tools, say landing page, there's loads of free tools for landing pages, and we do that just so that, as Neil shows, when you do some Facebook marketing, you send them to a lead page first and then onto your Amazon. And then we scale out the first 90 days of carefully planned content. So you'll have a wall that looks like this. So scale that out, and then a little bit later on, because this won't be in the 5th day, then we'll come back and we'll review and we'll tweak your messaging, and we'll have a look at your insights and where your Facebook's going and things like that. So 5 days of probably somewhere, I would imagine somewhere between 45 minutes to an hour on Zoom. Everything will be recorded. And we've priced that. I spoke to Neil about what he thought pricing, and we've set it at $497. So if anybody's interested in that, Neil and I are going to have a link to that shortly. We're just mucking around with some stuff. So, yeah, I'm really hoping I get a few of you.
I've just posted a link for that in the chat. Cool. So anybody that's interested in having Sue as your personal coach to guide you through this process, I've just posted a link to that directly in the chat. It's pretty clear that Sue really knows the stuff. So if you're interested in getting all that set up and getting your business set up the way that she's got her business set up, then that's a bloody good deal for her. And it's at rawlocal.com.au/5day. And it's number 5 instead of the written 5. I posted it in the chat for you as well. So that's all in there for everybody, Sue.
So thank you, Neil. So keeping in mind, people, that because it is live calls, and I do some coaching as well, I probably don't have a lot of spots. So, get in there quickly. So we'll go through, we'll set everything up. And yeah, as I said, it'll all just be done on Zoom and we can set everything up. So I'm sorry I've kept you all over time. So if did anybody have any questions that you needed to ask?
I've got one question that's been asked quite a few times, Sue, and that was all around storage of products. Where's the best place to store the products to sell on eBay? Richard
Aston at FBA Prep Services. So yeah. Richard's brilliant. So yeah, just go through Richard. Neil uses Richard. He's fast, he's quick. He integrates into the eBay platform. I think he integrates into your Amazon platform as well. So I know there's quite a number of people. Neil, for instance, Michael English, for instance, everything comes from China, goes to Richard. He sends a certain amount of them down to Amazon. He sorts out for Shopify, your own website. He can hook into anything that you've got. He can work with WooCommerce, Magento, and he just looks after everything. And he's a hell of a nice bloke. So, yeah, Richard Aston at FBA Prep can just look after everything for you. Right.
And I use Richard, as Sue says, and Richard does a bloody awesome job. He also does a lot of prep work for my Amazon business as well, bundling things together, applying FN SKUs, labels here in Australia, yada, yada, yada. He's bloody brilliant. One last question, and this one comes from Tracy Whiteside. Does all of this apply to eBay USA if you are not yet selling in Australia? So everything you've just covered, Sue, is that also applicable to other markets, or is it just Australia only?
Yes, it does. Sorry, I did see your question, Tracy, and I totally missed it. I think that's why I was on .com before. So to sell in the US, you will need a US fulfillment center as well. I know Richard has a couple of those. There's a few around. There's one that I know of is called Shipwire, and they can sell all over the world. I don't know their pricing, but I know quite a number of people in my eBay masterminds use Shipwire. So you only need one account to sell on eBay, so you don't need multiple accounts. All you need to do is change the .com.au to .com, and then it'll log you in. It says, "G'day, it looks like you're in Australia." And then we go through exactly the same thing. I'm not going to go through a wholesaling thing, but I will have to put in a title, so I'll put in Bike Company in. And the only reason you need to log in to .com is, continue without selecting a product. I just need to get down to the postage bit. So once you've got a third-party logistics place set up, you'll know where they are. Now, it's probably a good idea to choose a third-party logistics mob near where your stuff is in Amazon FBA, so you can do a removal order and it's not going to cost you a fortune. Or vice versa, get stuff sent to China to that fulfillment center and then ship it directly to that local FBA. So once you get down here, down to the shipping, because you're logged in with .com, it now brings up all the US postage options, and your third-party fulfillment will help you with what's the best ones for those. So I don't know, first class package I think is kind of like, the expedited services are like the express post. and then you've got the economy and the standard. So, yeah, just logging in directly into .com and work with the third-party logistics. It's still not a great idea to be using Amazon, especially not now, using Amazon to fulfill, because they're just so damn busy doing everybody else. They will not be doing outside fulfillment orders in a hurry. So they're just concentrating on doing Amazon stuff at the moment. So fulfillment orders, outside fulfillment orders are always a little bit hit and miss anyway. And when eBay penalises you for not getting shipping on time, I think you're really better off using a third-party fulfillment. And that's just me, a case of Googling it.
Just to add to that, I have just posted into the Facebook group the details for Richard Aston at FBA Prep Australia. So that's now in our Facebook group. And Sue, I think it's time to kind of shut things off now. So could you also, Sue, post in the group the link to that plugin that you were referring to? Lots of people asking for that too.
I certainly will. Yep, not a problem.
So much. And I want to say a massive thanks to Sue for taking up her time to teach everybody all about eBay. And for anybody that's joining Sue or wants to join Sue, that link again is www.rawlocal.com.au/5. That's number 5 day, meaning for her 5-day boot camp. And Sue, huge thanks for teaching us and sharing all of your wisdom and knowledge around eBay with us all, hon.
Not a problem. Thank you all.
Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales I've used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on, a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.